welcome
to
Boobies.
Boobies.
That's right. We are your host. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Joshua.
And we are here to whisper all the spooky things in your ears.
Yes,
for
we're
this
here to
Halloween season.
It's almost coming to an end.
It's almost here.
But also a spooky season is 365.
That's right, for us.
We're gonna keep it going.
We spooky all the time.
But yeah, what movie are we talking about today?
Trick or treat.
Trick or Treat.
Woohoo! 2007.
Ooh.
But my streaming service said 2009.
No.
And then on IMDb, it said 2015, but it was for Latvia.
Gotcha. Probably different release dates for different places, regions, countries.
I was
maybe
so confused. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get it wrong again.
You got it right. 2007. Film distributing sometimes is a little tricky as well.
Finally got it.
Distribution. But,
directed by Michael Daughtry.
Daughtry. That's how I would pronounce it.
That's how I'd say it too.
Yeah. It could be wrong though. Daughtry. I don't know. But yeah.
Rotary.
Cinematography by Glenn McPherson. We have it's kind of like a story within a story within a story
It's
type
so
of film.
Well, yeah, it's
looped together. Like, how would you say?
Like a Russian nesting doll, like a little babushka. The little, it's like you get the one big story on top, and then you open it, and you get a little bit deeper and deeper
layers,
and then you can doop, 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 wrap it all back up and put it in the one big doll, big Sam.
I like it. It's basically interwoven stories that
it's like almost like a horror anthology, but
all in one. But it's not an anthology because it all ties in together.
Same story. Yeah,
and I like how they do end up tying everything together through certain parts, and it's all
the little things, like even from Rhonda stepping off the curb at the very beginning, and stuff like that was, and then the car almost hitting that person, and then that was all the werewolf girls and stuff. And so
there's so many things when you look and watch it back that you're like, oh yeah, that was so obvious too. Especially like whenever the girls are talking in the dressing room and about trying to get the dates and their first, the virginity and all that stuff. The innuendos that you end up finding out later on in the film. It's pretty smart.
And the little kid who's peeping through the dressing room right there is actually Sam. It's Quinn Lord. It's the kid who plays Sam throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, little fun fact.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
That was him in his physical form.
Yeah,
and
I feel like probably a lot
creepy form.
A lot of people don't even realize like who Sam is. Like I feel like people see it now because you go to like Spirit Halloween or like all these other places and he's everywhere.
Yeah,
but people are like, what is that? Because I don't feel like Trick or Treat has like as big of a push to, like, it's not mainstream, but it definitely has a big cult following and it's definitely grown. But like I at a certain point didn't know who that was. I was just like, that's a creepy little thing.
I was like, this is cute. Cute little dolly.
But yeah, it's pretty awesome, and it's pretty the effects and stuff and everything on Sam, pretty creepy little dude.
Yeah, I love him. He's
once we get a reveal,
he reminded me of like a little baby bird or a dinosaur being like, and his eyeballs, they seem to, maybe they didn't close, maybe they did close that way, and that was why I thought it was a bird. Did you know how
it gave me Jeepers Creepers vibes?
Oh yeah, Jeepers Creepers, so good. Love that. Oh,
the first one only. But yeah, it's going to be closing out our Oktoberfest of all of our movies.
That's true.
Caitlin
pick this,
I would say, but I'm glad that I watched it because I'd seen it, I feel like a few years back.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something.
Definitely didn't watch it like all the way through.
No, because I think I watched it like, and people were over, and so like, I don't know, it was playing more so like while conversation was happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you weren't actually paying attention.
There were spots where I don't remember.
Yeah.
So this time I was like actually deep in it. Yes.
So you get like little flashes. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I have quite a few movies that's the case for me where I'm like, I feel like I've seen this, and then there are scenes in it that I have no clue.
Or just for like movies that you haven't seen in like years, you know, you're just like, oh yeah, I didn't remember that happened.
Oh yeah. Some of the like original horror films that I've watched, I feel I would have almost no recollection. And I think we've covered a few of them where that's been the case. Where like, I
remember talking about them. Yeah. Like the Nightmare on Elm Street and all those.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Like, I know I've seen them, but then actually going back and thinking about it, or rewatching it, there's definitely parts
where it's hard to recall, like, every scene, you know?
Yeah.
Of your life and then just a movie in general.
I don't remember yesterday.
So. I feel that.
Yeah, life's all over the place.
But
anyways,
do you want to dive right in, I guess?
Let's go.
Diving into Trick or Treat.
We open with the cutest little intro on like a tiny little realm of film.
Like an old school PSA type of thing.
Yeah, Trick or Treat safety. So cute. And it takes you through basically what you shouldn't do. Shouldn't go alone. You know, you shouldn't step off the curb. And you should like always stay on the sidewalk, stuff like that.
Kind of like superstitious things of like what you shouldn't do to honor Halloween, basically.
And then after that goes away, we basically start right off with that kid breaking like every rule, and we later find out it's Rhonda.
Yeah.
But she's not only alone, but then she steps off the curb and almost gets hit by a car.
Which is pretty intense already off the bat.
Yeah. I was like, oh my goodness. We start with this kid just immediately breaking the rules. Okay.
But that's like what any kid would do anyways.
Yeah.
Breaking the rules, you know? And that's just superstition, quote unquote.
And those rules are like things you should always follow.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't go anywhere alone. Don't walk in the middle of the road. Don't talk to strangers.
And then we kind of then get introduced into our first story, essentially, where we meet up with a couple, and they're coming home from what is essentially their, we see them earlier, what they were doing. They came from like a parade and all this stuff from the trick-or-treating, I guess.
Yeah, we see that later.
Yeah.
Where they came from. But our opening couple, it's basically the end of Halloween night is what we can assume, or it's at least the end of the Halloween festivities for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're coming home, and it seemed at first like she liked it, but then you later find out she was maybe a little mocking, basically being like, every night is Halloween.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to turn off this jack-o'-lantern.
She's really sarcastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm lit, you're lit, this jack-o'-lantern's not going to be lit.
Yeah, because she's done. She's over it. And it's basically, you can already tell she's more doing this because he was into doing it, you know, and she's just kind of pleasing him. And someone is watching them as well. From this, we get a POV shot of them.
Through a little burlap sack.
Yeah. And we see her blow that lantern out, and that's immediately like a big shouldn't have done that. And even he was saying, don't do that.
Yeah, he said, don't do that. Like, it's superstition. He was like, you might make someone mad. She was like, who am I going to make mad? And I was like, oh, maybe the person watching you right now.
Someone's got eyes on him.
Yeah.
And they are going to go inside. She wants to clean up because her mom is coming the next day, and he obviously wants some sex.
Which, okay, that is not the sex. Sorry. I was about to say that is bizarre. Not the sex part. Taking down your Halloween decorations like the night of?
Yeah.
No.
I don't. What?
First off, I take my decorations down like months later. The only reason my Halloween comes, the only reason my Halloween comes down when it does is because I have to decorate for Christmas. Christmas last year, I think, stayed up until like March, and then I finally was like, oh, I need to take this down. I had to take it down because I was getting the kittens.
Oh yeah, that's right, and because of the they would be like trying to claw at everything,
which is why there's no decorations in my house this year because they're gonna eat them.
Wait till next year.
Yeah,
it'll be all decorated out. Yeah. Do you not decorate for Thanksgiving-ish time?
I don't give a fuck about Thanksgiving. Okay. I don't like Thanksgiving.
I feel that.
The food, I got like massively sick on Thanksgiving and got really bad. I had a stomach virus and
that's bad.
I puked like 13 times. So Thanksgiving food and I don't really vibe.
Yeah, I feel that. Order a pizza and get the fuck out.
I always have Thanksgiving spaghetti. Is what I eat.
Like spaghetti and meatballs? Well, not meatballs, but I mean like the spaghetti and red sauce?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Spaghetti, and then, I don't mind like some, like I love macaroni. Love mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. I just really love mac and cheese.
Macaroni with a side of mac, with a side of macaroni and cheese, and a side of cheese and mac.
Yes, that's right. And then also some chili mac. No, that is good.
With some Fritos.
I'm not a big Frito fan.
I love a Frito pie.
I think my taste buds have changed, that I would be more into Fritos now if I tried them.
Try it.
I just know in high school and stuff.
That's why
I could never eat them because they always had meat.
That's true.
But
Robert's been meaning to, I think we told you about it, that vegan chili.
Oh, yes.
You need to get that recipe. We just made some the other day. It's really good. There's some there right now. I should get you some.
Over. I'm just kidding. I'm not. It's okay.
Well, yeah, you can go over. I'm not going over, but you can go over.
Just show up at Robbie's house. Hey, Robbie. Feed me, please.
Today is our apart day.
That's good.
And so
good to have. Anyways, we're now in there.
Take me to Mars.
She's taking down her Halloween immediately. She tells him, go up there and put on the tape. And the tape is called like Nature Special or something.
Yeah.
So it's just like really a weird at-home porn tape.
Nature Special porn, yeah.
I don't know. And then she's out there saying, I hate Halloween. And I was
really hates it.
Well, you deserve to die then.
Yeah.
Because you're I can tell.
And then there's a creeper across the street who's just like staring at her.
Oh, I know. I was like, oh, wait, who's this? I don't remember this person.
Yeah.
And then for good reason, because it's just a teenager.
Literally, just looking at her. Yeah, just being a creeper. And then that's whenever we get some boobies on the porn that he's watching.
That's true. Yeah.
And then we get her kind of stalking around and she's trying to get the decorations off. And that's whenever she hears something.
And I like the way that I like all those shots of her taking down the little ghost, like the sheets off of those things.
Because it's like, every moment you're like, oh shit, what's going
to be in there? Is something going to be there? Yeah.
They really play you.
They do. And so that was good. And then
it really builds the anticipation and the, what's it called? The release of the scene. Because it's like, and then
scare factor.
I
build and release.
Yeah, yeah. Just like that though, yeah, because it builds and then it's like, and then you get like relief of knowing that nothing's there, but then it builds again.
Yeah,
and like then another time, yeah.
But it was good, and then she goes and puts some decorations into the box, and then all of a sudden the sheet's like.
Yeah, and it just starts attacking her. Yeah, and they start going across the lawn and all the way into like the sidewalk of the in front of the house, like going through the whole fucking like
like down the walk and
and then the kids are like, oh my god,
and it's the three clowns from later that go knock on the guy's door.
Yeah,
the Mr.
principal?
Krieg.
Oh, Mr. Krieg. Well, on everybody's door, right?
Yeah, maybe. I know for sure they knock on Mr. Krieg. So, and they're the ones that get scared away by the dog before Sam then gets into his house.
Yeah.
So they probably did go by the principal's house too, because that was all at the same time. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's because that's the ones with. Well, no, were they all clowns then? Am I mistaken? Then that's a different group because there's the other group of kids that have the pirate.
Oh yeah,
and, yeah. Those are the ones that go to the principal.
These are the three that are they're clowns and. They weren't like creepy clowns. They just kind of looked like this is a last minute costume I threw together kind of thing. So, but yes, so they run away and
she's getting murdered in front of them, and
they see her. They don't see it, but they see the blood get.
She gets sliced with the lollipop.
Dope.
Yeah, pretty cool.
And then Sam's got some like Michael. Kind of displays.
Strength. Yeah.
And strength.
The way he strength, and then because the husband ends up waking up and then going downstairs looking for the wife, and he finds her displayed on the fucking like kind of like a scarecrow. Yeah.
Her head's up there, and then he doesn't. It's the way he walked right up to her hand.
Yeah,
that was hanging from the tree,
touching it. Yeah.
And how do you not recognize your wife's hand?
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I always have like fucking talons on, so maybe.
Yours is pretty distinctable.
And I got these little fingy tattoos.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty distinct.
But still, I feel like I would notice. I don't know. You spend enough time holding your partner's hand or something.
That you feel like you would know.
Yeah.
Or just hand in general, even not even recognizing.
Be able to tell the difference between a real and a fake one.
Yeah, but it's dangling there. Finds it, and then she's up there, and it's turns like, around. And then he's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
Irma.
And it was good.
Oh no, Irma.
Oh no. That was the first time I actually knew her name was, but I was like, well, she's dead.
Yeah, so, doesn't matter anymore. And then roll credits.
And the credits are so cute. Mm-hmm. I love
it. Kind of like a comic book almost, I would say. Yeah, flip book. Yeah. And we have the title. And then we have...
And the little music is really cute. It feels very nostalgic.
And like carnival-ish to me, I'd say. I don't know. Goosebumpy carnival-ish. Yeah.
I liked it. What is it? Live act? No. An action novel? Graphic novel. That's the word.
Graphic novel. There
That's
you go.
What it was. It was like a graphic novel.
That got created. It turned into a movie.
That's just what the front looked like. I'm not sure.
I wonder if that's like maybe a backstory for it. I'm sure maybe.
I was trying to look, and then I didn't look very hard.
I love that. That's my favorite kind of looking.
No follow through.
Film. Nope. It's not. It was written and directed. Like it was written as a movie.
I was like, I'm not finding any.
Yeah.
Days of the Dead. There's a novel now.
Cute.
But came out in I don't know. So anyways, but the intro is really fun. Kind of, it feels, I don't know, it's just very cute. And then we find that we're in Warren Valley, Ohio. And we get this scene of this fucking kid as like the credits are still rolling. And he's just walking with this candy dragging on the ground. It's like, ew, that kid fucking, it looked so gross.
Yeah.
Looks like he dipped it in like mud puddle.
Probably.
Puddle of sewage.
But that's what I feel like that's kids. Kids don't pay attention.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Just pick it up. Stop being a lazy shit. I don't know. Anyways, we're following him around. And then this is where we go into the dress-up room.
The dressing room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we are meeting these 4 girls. They're trying on costumes because they're going to go to a party. We have, I don't remember their names at the moment.
Lori is Little Red Riding Hood. Danielle is dressed up as Cinderella.
There we go.
Janet is the Little Bo Peep. And Maria is Snow White.
Yeah, and they're all getting changed, and we have a peeping kid who's like looking at them through a little hole.
Sam.
Which is Sam, played by Sam, the actor who plays Sam. And we have them talking basically just about like their costumes and what they're doing for their night.
And how they do it every year. They always travel to a different city and stuff. And you hear Lori saying like, she's clearly uncomfortable with it. She's like, my boobs are popping out. And I don't understand why we had to come all the way here. There's perfectly like good men in the city or something. And they're like, well, we do this every year. We always travel to someplace new kind of thing. And they're all, they come out and they look real like hot,
sexy.
Yeah. And then she comes out and she looks, in my opinion, she still looks hot.
No, she looks sexy too, but it's just that like
it's a little more
even so the the way that she carries herself is not like as sexy or confident with like the way they are, because that easily could have been sexy. It was just the way that she was you could tell like being reserved, and she was more shy or just didn't care to show off her body like they were essentially like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they were low-key being bitches to her though. Like I was like, oh my God, come on. And we see that because it's more like they're peer pressuring her. Essentially, they're just like they're coaxing her to keep going on with it, even though she clearly just doesn't even really want to do it. And Danielle picks up Cinderella basically picks up the clerk at the checkout and basically says like, come to this party with me, blah blah blah. And then we go outside and we're back with this the little dirty candy kid, breaking everyone's fucking pumpkins.
He's knocking the pumpkins.
And I was like, gonna get what he deserves.
And at this point, we cut back also because it's interwoven with the girls, and they're talking about how like she's a 22-year-old virgin.
Oh yeah.
And she needs to find a date, and like they're playing this up to like they want to get her laid, essentially, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But we found out later that might not be the case. And then we have, I think the other two girls at this point pick up the two guys that are like the news channel people, or there's something. They're outside. And they pick up those dates as their dates.
Yes, and that's when I learned Maria and Janet's names.
Yeah.
And they also run into our opening couple.
Oh, we see
Janet. We see Lori bump into Emma in her little robot costume. Yep.
And that's when you first get all of these are kind of like interwoven together.
Because you're getting little snippets of everyone in different places. And while Dirty Candy Kid's breaking his pumpkins, we see that there's this man who kind of pops up behind him. And he says, I don't think that's good for your diabetes. Is what he says.
Yeah.
Charlie is the Dirty Candy Kid, and he says because
there you go.
It was on the doorstep. It was just a bowl, and it said only take one.
But he ends up taking all of that.
Yeah, he takes a lot of it, and then so Mr. Wilkins is who we then find out who this man
comes up from behind him. Yeah,
and he's like, sit down, and basically they're talking about. He's talking about how he went to go pick up a new knife for the jack-o'-lantern, and it is the most unnerving talking to ever.
Yeah, because you can feel like a bad vibe coming off from him
because he sounds
creepy. Menacing.
Yeah, and then he's like slicing the jack-o'-lantern and then pulling the knife out, and it's getting rather close to Charlie's face.
Yeah,
and so Charlie at a few points kind of jumps back, and
he had given him that piece of chocolate while he's lecturing him as well.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden he's going over all of the kind of rules of Halloween, and he goes, I guess there's one more rule.
Always check your candy.
Always check your candy.
Because he laced it with cyanide.
Yeah. And then Charlie just
starts puking
so much, and it's
so gross.
It looks like Hershey syrup.
Yeah. It's disgusting. He's poisoned.
He starts puking up something big, too. I don't know what they were.
I don't know. He probably had been eating so much the whole night, probably.
Like apple cores or something.
The floodgate was open, and he then passes out on Mr. Wilkins' lap. And Mr. Wilkins is just like, ugh. And he ends up... What? Oh, your notes? He ends up bringing him inside, and taking him inside the house. And at this point, that's whenever he gets a knock at the door because some kids are trick-or-treating. And that's where we get the first side of the pirate. And there's, I forget what the other two are.
Yeah. Macy's an angel.
That's right.
Chip, I believe, is the pirate. And then Sarah is I'm not quite sure what she was.
Yeah.
Something, I think an alien or something.
Something like that.
I don't know.
But that's when we find out that he's a principal as well. For their school, I guess, elementary.
Principal Wilkins.
Yeah. Principal, literally. And you're like, oh, shit. And so they're at the door, and he's trying to essentially get rid of them real fast.
Because he's covered in blood. Yeah. Because as he was trying to take Charlie in, Charlie's still spitting up on him. Because I guess he's not dead. I don't know. Or maybe it's just the force of his stomach being pressed
he's
on.
Not dead.
Yeah.
He's just severely it's poisoned right now.
Because then the other body
ends up waking up a little later.
Well, and then the other body woke up too, because that one was in a clown costume.
Was it?
Yeah, the arm that pops out was in a clown little costume.
I didn't realize that.
So, I thought he was burying him on top of last year's body.
There were two bodies in there, but I didn't realize that the other one was the one that moved. I thought it was still
It might have been both of them, but I know the last one that really, as Mr. Krieg was out there and stuff, was in a clown costume.
Interesting.
But I didn't realize that.
I'll have to rewatch it and look back over that part.
Where did you watch this, by the way?
I watched it on Shudder, I think.
Shudder? Okay, I could not find it on Shudder.
Maybe it was not on Shudder.
But I watched it on fucking Prime.
That was the most chopped up.
All of the. I was Amazon, Netflix.
Prime, got it.
I was right the first time with Amazon.
That might be where I watched it. Honestly, I get them all jumbled up at this point. Where I watch them. It said it was included
in my AMC Plus subscription, which I don't know what that is, but I guess I have it.
You're subscribed to it. You pay $9.99 for it.
Oh, cool.
You should go on line and unsubscribe to it if you don't want to pay for it anymore.
Okay. I don't. My
on Prime.
mom does.
Oh, then your mom pays for it. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. But I have that.
It's like an add-on.
Commercials for Shudder. And I was like, I already have that.
Yeah.
But okay.
It's like an add-on.
Anyways, that's where I watched it.
And yeah, so the kids end up leaving, but as they leave, there's one that's still left, and it's Sam. Yeah, so and he's just like looking at him, and the principal's just like kind of looking at him, and then he gives him the candy, and then Sam goes away.
Sam just kind of
Yeah.
Puts his little hand in there and then runs off. So precious.
Yeah. And Love even him. The principal was like, that was weird.
Yeah.
And so that's whenever we cut back to the girls. And I think that's whenever Danielle leaves Lori to find a date to her own devices. And girls like leave and they're going to like all meet up later. And then we get back to... I guess back to the principal, right?
Yeah,
he's trying to get rid of the body.
Bury the body. Mm-hmm. But then his little kid screams through the window.
Exactly.
And he's like, Daddy, I'm home.
So annoying. The kid is so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he is basically just wanting the dad to come back inside because he wants just attention. Mm-hmm. He wants to carve a pumpkin. He wants to do something before that, I think. He wanted to do something. I don't remember, essentially.
He did.
But
they were talking about carving a pumpkin. Yeah. And he says, I need help with the eyes. But he says that later.
Yeah.
But
the dad wants him to watch Charlie Brown. And he's like, Charlie Brown's an asshole.
Charlie Brown's an asshole.
Yeah, which I thought was funny.
I love Charlie Brown.
And at this point, because all the commotion, the neighbor's dog starts barking at him. So he cuts off a finger of the kid and then throws it across the yard to the dog.
A literal
bone.
Finger bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And knick knack paddywhack. And that's whenever we have the neighbor coming out and he's like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Mr. What's his name? Neater?
Keeger.
Kegel. Mr. Kegel.
It's Mr. Keeg.
Mr. Keeg. Yeah, that's it. And so he's just like...
Mr.
Krieg. There you go. That's the right name. That sounds very correct. Keeg was very close. And so that's whenever the neighbor is like asking him questions like, what are you doing over there? Because he's obviously looks weird because he's like halfway in the dirt.
What are you doing down there?
Digging a hole and the
hiding bodies?
Literally. And the principal's like, it's a septic tank problem.
He said, is that why it smells so bad out here? It smells like a dead whore. Is that what he said?
It's something along those lines.
And I was like, oh. Okay.
And that's whenever one of the kids down there makes noise, comes to, and he's like, what was that? And that's whenever the dude was like, I forgot what he said, but
I think he's just basically saying like, I'm trying to fix it, and he was like, oh, okay, then you better fix it. And he's like, I'm trying.
And that's when he also tells him to keep your damn kid off my lawn or off my whatever. And then he's like, what? And then he essentially ends up going away, and then we have Mr. Principal like killing again whoever is down there because he like has to like break their neck essentially with the shovel.
And that's where the kid then like pops his head back out the window too.
Yeah, his son.
And is saying like, Dad, I want to carve the pumpkin.
Yeah.
Or can we carve the jack-o'-lantern? And going on about that. And then he says he wants to go to the parade with him. And he's like, I can't, I have a date. And he was like, maybe we can do like make caramel apples or something.
When I get back, yeah. Or beforehand.
And then he's like mocking his own kid after he's killed this other kid. And he's like, why isn't mommy still alive? Like, God damn,
and you can obviously, mommy's obviously buried there in the yard somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I feel like it.
Yeah. Because he's like watering the grave essentially.
Yeah.
And he killed her. Then that's whenever he ends up going up the stairs to go back into the house, and we look to the side and we see Mr. Krieg like yelling for help. And that's when he was just like, what did he say? Something, whatever, asshole.
Something just basically like, no, fuck you, sir.
Fuck you, yeah. And ends up leaving, and that's kind of, we don't see what happens there until later on in the movie. It ties back towards the end, and that's whenever he goes inside and he ends up
I thought he was going to kill his own son.
Well, Billy scares him at one point, and that's whenever Dad is giving creepy vibes, and you think he's going to kill his kid, but whenever he's down there and Billy is seeming like he's very like innocent and he's about to die, you get a surprise. Which is so
weird, that they were like, let's go, because he said, let's go down to the basement. So in my head, I was like, either they've got a live person down there, because there was still like a woman screaming, but I think it was on the television. And so I thought someone was like screaming down there and was about to get murdered. Yeah. But I guess that could have been, I wonder if that could have been Emma across the street.
What do you mean?
Because all of that would have been happening roughly around the same time.
It could have been.
Emma happened, but he was all bandaged up, Mr. Krieg was. So that might have happened earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's hard to place everything.
But
yeah,
I thought maybe someone was down there and they were going to carve a face on her.
But it wasn't.
And then as they get down, though, he says, let's carve a scary face this time. And then his dad's like, scary face it is. And you see him like put his hand on top of Billy's head. Billy is the boy's name.
Yeah.
And then bring a knife down. And I was like, damn.
You think he stabbed his own kid?
His fucking son.
But you see him pull up the knife and it looks like blood, but
Billy's still talking.
And it was blood, but you end up seeing that it was actually Charlie's head.
And he's just teaching his son to murder people.
Yeah.
Which answered a lot of my other questions. And earlier in my notes being like, damn, he really just saw his dad burying a body, and what the fuck? Are you just leaving all that poison out with your kid?
Yeah.
Because whenever Mr. Wilkins walked through the kitchen earlier and stuff too, you could just see it was bottles upon bottles of poison. So I was like, what? But now it makes sense. The kid's like in on it.
Oh yeah, he's a murderer in training. That's what he is.
Yep.
And
what if it's like a Fear Street situation where they have to
pass it on to the next generation? Could be.
Maybe.
And that's whenever we cut to the kids and they're looking for lanterns, jack-o'-lanterns per se. And they're like going from house to house looking for them.
They saw them at Miss Henderson's house and people are literally fucking in the back.
Yeah, literally. And they're like, what kind of party is this? Yeah. She tells them to come in, but that's when they're like, no, we're okay. And that's whenever I
think they were all teachers.
Yeah, some of them were teachers.
Because
I don't think they were.
He said something about the coach was back there, like butt fucking a pig. Is what Chip said later.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh man.
He said Coach someone was back there.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But the whole town is creepy, and so
they into some weird shit.
They end up meeting another friend. They meet a girl at her house who ends up being Rhonda, which we saw earlier in the film. And her house is all decked out with the jack-o'-lanterns.
Her house is it not Mr. Krieg's house?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay, because I thought
later on those jack-o'-lanterns end up at his house, but they were like Sam did some magic voodoo shit. They ended up at his house. Yeah.
Okay, because it looked like the same house. And then at first I was like, oh, because whenever I saw those three clown boys go up to Mr. Krieg's house the first time, I was like, they better not fucking like go pick on Rhonda, like protect Rhonda at all costs. And
at first I thought, oh, is that like his granddaughter or something?
Yeah, I thought maybe he lived with.
I looked it up. Yeah, that it wasn't the same house.
But
yeah.
But yeah, her house is all decked out. It's looking cool as hell. And she knows they're kind of making fun of her. They call her some very mean names.
Yeah.
And I wonder how these kids know her. Is she legend or something? Because she definitely disappeared behind the tree at the end.
At the end, yeah. I don't know. But I feel like, I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because how would they know her? I feel like I thought they were, like, that was from their school.
Well, but whenever Schrader like introduces himself to her too, I expected her to be kind of like, I know, that she just said, I'm Rhonda. And so, I don't know.
Maybe she's just like a girl that like, or a ghost girl that appears there and they've seen her before. And just for Halloween, they were like, we're going to come get her.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Possibly. But anyways, they're making fun of her, but then they leave Schrader there to kind of convince her into coming along with them, basically. And
he's then, like flirting with her.
Yeah, a little bit. I was like, oh, maybe Schrader like actually will like her. A sort of Carrie situation.
Yeah.
You know, with Tommy. Is that his name? Yeah. And, but I don't know. Who knows? But
we're back to the parade.
Yep.
At this point.
Flashback there.
Go into some alleyways and we see a hot couple getting freaky frisky in the alleyway. It's a lady and her man's. And he starts biting her.
I know. I was like, blood. Oh shit, is he about to like go down on her? And then she's covered in blood.
Yeah. And it's giving, she ends up running away and like running out to try to get to the parade, and it's giving very like IKWYDLS vibes.
Yes,
It's like the exact same thing because she's covered in blood. When she gets out there, everybody's just kind of, she even bumps into Emma.
Yep.
And everybody's just kind of like, well, that's normal because she has blood on her and it's Halloween and everybody has blood on them.
Her husband's like, come on, she's just drunk.
Yeah.
Come on. Pulls her away.
And that's whenever the dude ends up right behind her again, and she gets taken out pretty like in front of everybody.
Yep. Yeah. He just like, and then he just leaves her like a little prop on the side of the road.
She did.
And people aren't going to know until the morning, or if people like actually look close enough.
Of the night. Yeah.
And but then we flash back to the kiddos, and they've got Rhonda to come with them, and we see them trudging along with
all those lanterns.
Shopping cart of jack-o'-lanterns, and they were like still lit, and they were just kind of funny. I'm like, how is this happening? Maybe they're plastic, like those little tea lights.
Maybe.
Yeah. But and then Chip says something. He says, "Wow, you must really like Halloween." And then she just goes off. I was like, "Hell yeah, Rhonda, pop off with them facts."
Smart.
Yeah.
She knows her
listening
shit.
And I was like, "Hell yeah." But yeah, that was really cool. I liked that part.
Yeah. And then after that, that's whenever they get to this like, what would you call it? A quarry. Okay, cool. There we go.
Just like
quarry.
Mama.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's whenever
we planned this, y'all.
For real. What's her face?
Macy
starts going over the story of how
she's giving a major Regina George bitch vibes.
She does the whole time. She is going over the story of how one Halloween afternoon there was a school bus full of 8 troubled kids.
Yeah, the Halloween school bus massacre. And we're back to whatever time it is. But yeah, so the Halloween school bus massacre happened 30 years ago, like you said. There are 8 kids, troubled, disturbed. They really just felt like they were...
They probably had some mental health issues, or just were misunderstood, or maybe were just...
I feel like they were just normal kids that maybe... It's the way that mental health has been viewed in the past so poorly, and when people would lock women up who were on their period, and they were like, "Oh, this one's crazy."
Yeah,
lock them in an asylum.
Yeah,
and so I feel like it was kind of
essentially
the same.
People didn't want to deal with them because even their parents set up to get some money all together in a pool, and they paid for this dude, the school bus driver, to essentially take care of the problem for them and kill them.
So sad.
Yeah. Thankfully, this is just fiction.
Yeah, I know. The poor kids. Because then there was the one that was counting all the street addresses, and so he had said 3, and then we see the bus driver turn the wrong way, and he goes, "Wrong way, wrong way." Yeah. Wrong way, and he's like freaking out, and he's the one who then breaks free
later on,
and then because the bus driver drove them, miles out of town,
and he chained them all up as well.
Yeah, they were all chained. I was like, are they normally chained?
No, probably not.
And that was just I don't know, so sad. And
I mean, I can tell you, like, as a kid, here's a story, anecdote. Whenever I was in pre-K, so I'm only like 5 years old, I think, at this point, I was not a bus kid. I was a pickup kid. And one day, I don't know why, a teacher's aide put me in the line to go to the bus. And I was like already thinking, like, I don't take the bus, but I also I was so shy that I didn't speak up. Like, I was just like, okay, an adult's telling me to go here, then I'm going to go here. And so then I went into the line. I went into one of the buses. I literally went all the way into the bus. And the bus is like going, and it's like an hour and a half later. And the bus driver is just like on his way back to school. And I'm like so little that they're like, oh my God, there's still someone back there. And he's like, who are you? And I'm like, he's like, you're not on my list. And I'm like, I don't ride the bus, sir. And he's just like, well, then why are you on the bus? And I'm like, well, because so-and-so told me to get on the bus. And then he's like,
poor mom.
Oh my God.
Whoever picks you up is probably freaking out.
And so the whole issue, then like I end up getting back to the school, but mom, I think, is there, and she's just been waiting and like not knowing like where I was at, and like nobody could tell her, I guess. And then I ended up just showing back up. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, too, is we kept passing by. Like, we passed by my house twice, and we passed by my parents' place of business near the restaurant. We passed that like at least 4 or 5 times because it's all in the same. I just at no point was just like, right there, that's me, because I didn't speak up. And so I easily could have been chained up and driven off a cliff at that point because I wouldn't have spoken up.
Well, I'm so glad that you didn't get chained and driven off a cliff.
I'll never forget that. That was a crazy ride.
Yeah, I bet. That is wild. Aww.
And so they it's so sad because they do get he ends up
wrong way boy, he looks like Dracula, I think.
It's Dracula, and
he escapes from the chains. His poor hands are all bloodied and stuff too, trying to get out of them.
Wow, the bus driver is at the back of the bus still like trying to chain up the other kids,
and he's saying, wrong way, I want to go home, I want to go home,
and he goes to the front of the bus and steps on the gas
and doesn't know how to drive a car because he's a kid,
and ends up driving them all off the cliff. Now
I have an anecdote. There was one time my mom left us waiting in the car, and my brothers and I were in our Suburban, and we lived in North Carolina on a mountain, and Patrick or Brett, I don't know, one of us accidentally threw the car into neutral, and we started going down the hill.
Oh no, that's scary.
And then thankfully, I guess my mom came out right in the nick of time and was able to get into the car and put it into park, but all 3 of us almost drove right off the mountain.
You would have gone off eventually?
We would have gone down. The trees would have stopped us.
But still, that's scary.
But still, it would have been pretty bad.
Yeah.
Because then clearly we were not seat buckled. Like my mom must have been unloading groceries or something and just left us in the car and hadn't gotten us out yet. I don't know.
You're dead right now. You're not even real. This is a ghost.
I am actually a ghost. We're both ghosts.
You never made it out of it.
You never made it off the bus.
I never did.
We're here to tell you a story.
And so that's whenever the kids are all kind of freaked out. Some of the kids are like, that's not even real. That's stupid. You're making that up. To
also,
fucking
the
Macy.
Kids on the bus, the 8 original kids, their masks were so cool.
Oh, yeah.
They had really dope Halloween costumes. I was like,
costume designer.
I don't know,
Shout out.
them. Anyways, sorry.
No, you're good. And that's whenever they end up going to what is it? It's kind of like a little elevator, I guess, a little shaft that's going to take them down to the bottom of the quarry, but it can only hold 3 kids at a time, so only they split up essentially.
Yeah.
And so some of the kids
Which
go
I
down.
feel like is a lie, just so they could orchestrate the prank that they were doing. And let me just say, Chip was acting for his life because I totally believed him.
I thought he was flirting and being all like cutesy.
Well, I thought he was just being so afraid, and I thought that this wasn't a prank at first because Chip was doing
the boy that was with her.
Yeah, the pirate.
My bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, damn. Yeah. I believed he was genuinely terrified.
Maybe a part of him was genuinely terrified as well.
Yeah, true. Maybe they didn't tell him.
It's pretty creepy out there as well.
And then they came back.
Or only told him half of the truth of what was going on.
That's
or he just could have been a wuss.
Who knows?
And so that's whenever they end up all getting down there, essentially. Right?
Yeah, and while this is happening, we're flashing back to Lori
walking in the streets, right?
In the parade, and she's kind of looking for someone who she could
take as a date.
And I love when she looks at that one person who's kind of I don't know, it's like Viking-esque gear or something, and then the person turns around and it's a woman, but Lori was like hardcore checking her out, and I was in her face afterward. And I was like, oh, Lori just had her bi awakening.
Literally,
she was like, what?
She could.
Damn. But then we see that same vampire guy that murdered Chick earlier.
She locks eyes with him.
Yeah, and he's kind of honed in on her.
Yeah.
And then...
At this point, we think, oh no, Lori's about to get snatched.
I was like, damn it. But then we flash back to Rhonda.
Yep.
And Chip, in the thing, we hear werewolves howl.
Yeah, we do.
And she's like,
that pops in later.
Werewolves. And then this is when she's like, okay, well, I'll get off. Like, you wait here.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Because he's scared. And that's whenever she's looking for the other kids. And she ends up coming to the
bus.
The bus, essentially. Yeah.
Which was actually there. And I was like, damn, these people really didn't look hard. If they're just... Because at first they said...
they were just there. They didn't find...
Yeah. And at first they said that legend has it that it sunk so deep that they couldn't find the bus. Or they just didn't really care to find the bus.
Well,
and I'm
maybe
like,
the water was
sticking out of the water.
The water could have been a lot deeper back in the day.
True.
Yeah.
True.
We essentially don't know how deep it is right now. But yeah, it's just a movie. But they end up playing a prank on her by spooking her because they end up pretending to be the kids that drowned, essentially.
And this is where I was like, oh, this is not a prank. This is not a prank.
Yeah, no, me either, because it doesn't feel like a prank at first. Yeah.
I was like, oh, God, they're all going to... I was like, shit, they actually died, because you see the bits of their costume. The other three kids, Macy, Schrader, and Sarah, you see little bits of their costumes, like her angel wings, Schrader's mask, and Sarah's mask, all kind of bloodied and strewn about. And she was trying to grab it, and then... people pop up, and I was like, oh God, she's gonna die. Her and Chip are gonna die, and she's running, and we see Chip getting his entrails eaten. And then she gets backed up against a little somewhat shallow, I don't know, drop off though, and she falls back and hits her head, and she's momentarily knocked unconscious.
Yeah, and that's whenever they're like, oh shit, wait a minute.
And then I was like, oh, okay, that's right. It is a prank. But poor Rhonda, she's the little sweetest. I love her so much.
Yeah, bless you. Thank you. Yeah, poor her, because she was just trying to make friends.
She was. She was just being nice to them. But then this is where I was like, oh, damn. Because whenever I saw Chip, once they finally got Rhonda to wake up, and he was standing there, I was like, damn, he was putting on a good act. He really was. And then quickly does it become not a prank.
It turns around very fast, because then it's like, oh shit, are they coming from the ground? We actually have the real kids who were the 8 troubled kids from the was it massacre?
From the school bus massacre.
School bus massacre.
Halloween school bus massacre.
And that's whenever at this point too, you're kind of like, wait, is it not? And that's whenever.
But then you start to see some of the original masks, and you're like, oh, okay.
It is, and that's whenever Rhonda loses her glasses, right?
Yeah, Rhonda. I think she had maybe lost them even beforehand.
Whenever she had fallen. Yeah, she's looking for him or something. Oh no, I'm sorry. My bad. My notes. I'm behind. That's why.
Oh, did you miss something?
No. You're not. I just had a lot more notes than I realized because of the prank, and then it not being a prank, I was in the wrong spot. But yeah, that's whenever. At that point, because they're all talking about it now. Macy's being a freaking bitch, and that's whenever they end up hearing the other kids screaming, and that's whenever. Well,
yeah. So Macy basically was like, "Well, that really was a good prank," and he was like, "Just stop it." Schrader was on Rhonda's side and was like, cut it out. Can't you see that she's scared? Haven't we done enough?
Yeah.
And he's basically
she wants to take it even further.
Yeah, and he was like, let's go home. And then so Schrader stays there with Rhonda. as Macy, Sarah, and Chip go off to clean up their mess and basically so that way they can leave. And it's while they're cleaning up that they quickly realize, like, they hear other children laughing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's they put out the lantern as well.
Yeah. They put out the last one.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this one's still lit.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden,
you hear the children laughing.
Yep, and then they're coming for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Schrader's like, stay here. I'll go look. And he goes to look for them.
And that's whenever they're about to get axed.
Yeah.
Because all the kids they're running back and they're freaking out, and he's like, oh my God. And she's they're like trying to say that it's not a prank anymore, but Rhonda's obviously not going to believe them.
She's not buying their shit.
Yeah,
because they just were so mean to her.
So that's whenever Rhonda gets back up to the dumbwaiter thing, elevator shaft, whatever, and they're running back to her. And one of them makes it. Is it Trader that gets to her, or is it the pirate?
I think it was all three of them.
Yeah,
except for Sarah. They let Sarah get eaten.
Yeah, that's right.
They were just like, bye.
Yeah, because she was like survival of the fittest. And they get up to her, but she locks it and she goes up and leaves them down there.
Yep. And you see her like reach for the key and you think maybe she'll let them in.
No.
And then she's got the key in hand, but she just presses up and you just really hear them all dying. And then little Sam's just there watching.
And then as she's walking away, I guess he's going to go down there to finish it off or go check it out.
So. Make sure everyone's done their job correctly. Clean up the mess. And then this is where we flash back to Lori, Little Red, being followed. She's on her way to the party that's in the middle of the forest, and you hear extra twigs and stuff snapping behind her.
Yeah.
And
it's giving very like Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf.
Exactly. And she eventually is like, okay, I fucking know you're there. Like, come out.
Yeah.
And she turns around and right in front of her is
the
vampire man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's whenever he like sneaks around her and like starts kissing on her, right?
Yeah. And then immediately he kind of bites her too. And he says, like, my, what big eyes you have or something. So he pulls a line from it.
Yeah.
And
at the same point, it's cutting into Danielle talking about her sister and like being like where she at is kind of too at the same time. And that's whenever we have a body fucking falling from the tree.
And it's a person in a red hood.
Yeah. And you think it's
Lori.
And even Danielle's like, oh my God, is that Lori? And you're like, is it?
Because the last we saw of Lori was her screaming, and we'd already seen this same person kill someone else. So we could only assume that it was Lori.
And that's whenever they look at the body, and we end up getting the mask moved and the fake vampire teeth removed. Well, the fake vampire teeth come off first. My bad. And that's whenever they take off the mask and we find out that it's Principal Wilkins. Yeah.
Yep. And then they basically come around and Lori pops up and she's like, he tried to bite me or he bit me or something.
That's before that. Lori does come up before that happens. My bad.
So at that point I was like, fuck, damn, like she killed him. And then I was like, oh, they're vampires. And then I was like, no, they're werewolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then this dancing scene was cool.
The ritual essentially is that they're going, this is what they do every single year, and they're killing boys, essentially.
And so that way they can transform. I like the way they transform too, just like literally ripping off their skin.
The effects were really cool. I really liked it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like anything too special or anything, but I thought it was super cool.
And I feel like I've never seen a werewolf transform that way. And most of the time it's just kind of like the hair starts growing on their skin and stuff. It's never the skin is over their fur and they just like rip off their little meat suit,
like peeling it off.
And then there's this bloodied matted fur underneath. I thought it was really cool.
That's really cool.
That's real nice.
Have you ever seen An American Werewolf in London?
Oh yeah. That's one that is like
And then I think
haven't seen in 5 ever.
And then Underworld movies are pretty good too.
Yeah.
With the lichens. I really like their transformation. But yeah, that's whenever
And Sam's again just sitting there making sure everything's okay. He's literally like swinging his little feet.
He's just watching
lollipop. I was like,
he's
so
everywhere.
Cute.
He's a busy man tonight. He's like Santa Claus.
He is.
And it's Sam and Jack
Santa
Skellington.
Claus Sam.
And so that's whenever all the tells like are kind of connected for the most part. At this point, if you haven't figured it out, you figure it out even more so because the character of the principal with them, and then the girls, and then earlier before that event, we get back to like the couple. So Sam was watching the werewolves, and then what happens after that?
The punks are breaking into the
kids are going back to
clowns are going to Mr. Krieg's house. Yeah, I thought they were breaking into Rhonda's house though, because I thought it was Rhonda's house.
Okay, and
from the host of the popular podcast The Only One in the Room, Stash by Laura Cathcart Robbins is a propulsive and vivid memoir about the journey to sobriety and self-love amidst addiction, privilege, racism, and self-sabotage. Best-selling author Holly Whitaker calls it an irresistibly delicious story, and MacArthur Foundation fellow and best-selling author Kiese Lehman says Stash is emotionally riveting. Buy Stash by Laura Cathcart Robbins now, wherever books are sold.
As if the McCrispy couldn't get any better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. The Bacon Ranch McCrispy, available at participating McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This is where we have the kids. Now they're going to show up at Mr. Krieg's house.
Yes, and this is where I thought it was Rhonda's house.
Yeah, because I was like, all those pumpkins.
No, they're breaking into Rhonda's house. And then they ring the doorbell, and I was like, all right, I guess they could just want candy.
Yeah.
I thought they were up to no
but
good.
But then it's like very dark, and you get this like very spooky sounds and
wheezing. Like,
and you see like these red eyes, and it starts chasing the kids, but it's really just Mr. Krieg's little dog.
It looks like Wishbone.
It's very like, whatchamacallit, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Max.
Like that, and he's just being like a Scrooge essentially because he's chasing off the kids and not giving them candy, and he's not like honoring Halloween.
Yeah.
And he's mean. So that's whenever we go inside. He's burning some papers, and we don't see what they are just yet. But he's just essentially got that fire going. He's watching TV and he's trying to eat some candy, but he doesn't like it. And that's whenever we see the newscasts that we had seen earlier going on live. About the Halloween events going on in town.
And I thought that candy was poison.
Yeah, it probably was from Mr. Principal's place somehow.
Since they had dropped it, and I knew that they were over by his house earlier, so I was like, ooh, maybe don't eat that, sir.
It's a good thing he didn't.
Yeah. And the meat commercial that was happening while he was sitting there eating that candy was good. Also reminded me of like the Veggie Smasher commercial from the VHS 94. Have you watched any one yet?
No, the 84 or 80 something?
Yeah, the one that like just came out. Yeah,
I didn't know it was out already.
Yeah, it just came out.
It's 85. I think it's VHS 85.
I want to watch it.
We should cover it sometime.
We should.
And that's whenever he's cooking, right? He's making something. I don't know what he's doing. But the dog is stressed while he's cooking.
Cooking.
And I don't know.
He's drinking alcohol.
I don't know why my thing says
whiskey cocktail.
I don't know why my thing says back to cooking.
Maybe it's supposed to be drinking.
Oh, maybe. But the dog is stressed out.
Because he just stays in I know what it is. He changes the channel a few times, and then he settles back on the meat. Paid programming commercial, the cooking show.
Gotcha. And so the dog is stressed and freaking out, and he's like, what the heck? But at this point, someone's egged his house, right? Because he hears noises and he goes outside and people are egging his house. And that's whenever he goes out, and that's when he goes into the backyard, and that's whenever he has that whole interaction that we saw earlier with the principal. And he tells him also to keep that's why it makes sense now that he's like, keep your kid off my lawn or yard or whatever.
Because he thought that his kid had egged his house.
For some reason, that would be his kid.
Not that it's Halloween and there's thousands of kids wandering around
Shit, for real
right now. But
let me bring my neighbor's kid, and that's when even in my notes I'm like, oh, these stories are connected. Like it's so awesome to see it all. Like even at this point, still coming back and connecting.
Because then like someone's getting in his house while all this is happening.
And I have reiterated here, it smells like a dead whore.
It smells like a dead whore.
Yeah, and
that's right.
That's whenever he goes back inside, and there's something in the house. The call is coming from inside the house.
Well, I guess the puppy did die. I don't know.
We don't see him. We don't see, but he does make like a little like
whelping,
type of noise,
yelping sound, whelp. And the whole time I was like, "Damn, someone get this man an inhaler," because he's trying to be sneaky, coming up the stairs with the shotgun. But I was like, "Sir, your breathing is giving you away." He was like. Around the corner. And this is where I clued in that he was the bus driver because of the scar on his face.
Oh, I didn't pick it up at this point still.
Because after the bus driver got out of the water, we saw the bus driver climbing out of the water. You could see that there was a certain marking on his face, and Mr. Krieg had that same marking.
I didn't put it together.
So he was the bus driver.
Because then he's in
was like, right here, I was like, is he the bus driver? And then once I saw what was burning in the fireplace, I was like, he is the bus driver.
Because he ends up in one of the rooms upstairs, and that's whenever we have like all these messages written out by Sam on the wall.
Again, Sam is putting in the work.
He is,
Can you imagine how long that would have taken? To just, it was everywhere.
A few hours.
Trick or treat, give me something good to eat. And it was little.
Sam is also supernatural, though. So
I know.
Sam and
he's still putting in the work.
He moves very fast.
Putting in the work like Michael.
And that's whenever.
And if he's Santa Claus, maybe he can pause time.
What's his face? Sam ends up shooting like a fucking spike at Mr. Krieg.
He gets him in his Achilles heel.
Yeah, that's right.
With I think it's the razor blade that's in the candy bar.
Yeah,
because the razor blade has the blood on it later, and so he gets him. Mr. Krieg goes down, and we see Sam kind of pop up, and then he opens the candy bar, and there's a little razor blade out of it.
The candy bar reveal.
Yeah, that was cool.
And there's a gasp from Mr. Krieg, I think, as well.
And then he
just goes away.
Yeah, well, because he gets his shotgun and he shoots the jack-o'-lantern out that was behind him, because whenever Mr. Krieg entered the room, he saw something underneath the sheets, and I thought it was going to be Sam eating the dog.
But it's like a robot or something. Yeah,
it's a little hand.
Yeah,
a little hand going like a little animatronic hand.
Yeah,
and so he's just kind of like, okay, and then all of a sudden the jack-o'-lantern in this corner of the room just goes up in flames, lighting up all of the words written on the wall and stuff. And so after Sam shows him the candy bar, he shoots out that jack-o'-lantern, and then Sam's gone. And it was like,
I'm like, where'd the fucker go?
And so then he's like trying to get away, and he
falls down the stairs because of the candy.
And there's candy everywhere, and there's razor blades in the candy. Always check your candy.
And there's glass,
which is super. I feel, I think there was glass.
He ends up like getting glass in his hands
and razor blades. So bunch of mix of everything, and that was super indicative, like, of the time. I remember around then, especially after 9/11. I remember my mom, and maybe that's because that was when I was in the first grade, second grade kind of stuff. And so then memories start sticking with you a little bit more. But I just remember after that, my mom checking our candy every time when we got home.
That's
and stuff
crazy.
to make sure that there was nothing in it.
Yeah.
So.
Because there's stories out there of creepers and that happening.
But people fathers killing their own children with the pixie sticks, like the pixie stick murders.
What would they put in the pixie sticks?
He laced it with something and killed his children.
See, that's the thing, though, is you can't poison people. People are going to figure that out. That's crazy. How do people think they can get away with that?
Well, there are some poisons that don't show.
Just so, Caitlin, you're going to implicate yourself in a crime.
Okay. I don't know anything.
Plead the fifth. And so his poor hands are fucked up.
And that has to hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Ooh, and he's sitting there trying to get the lock, and I was like, ooh.
And that's whenever we see little Sam climbing up all over the ceilings and the walls.
I was like,
yes. And he's very much like a little kid, just getting everywhere.
Because the way whenever he drops down onto him, he's like,
he's like,
and he sounds like a little kid, and clearly he's little kid height.
And Mr. Krieg getting absolutely terrorized, and that's whenever this is where we saw the scene earlier of him coming up to the window and to the principal and being like, help me, and the principal being like, fuck you,
and walks inside.
Yeah.
And then Sam just football tackles him over. I loved it.
He's got the strength of Michael Myers.
He does.
And that's whenever he ends up taking off his little mask, essentially, not a mask, but mask, and it's a little pumpkin faced little demon Sam.
Little demon pumpkin, kind of slimy looking, like the innards of a pumpkin would be.
Yeah.
And he's so cute. Even then, the way whenever he's just blinking as his hands
he's
coming
like
back
a newborn.
to him. Yeah, he's like a little newborn dinosaur. Like, you know, whenever the
dinosaur, whenever they're peeling off the eggshells.
In Jurassic Park.
I love that.
That first little one that's born.
Movies.
That's what it looked like. It was so cute.
All the little sounds that he's making. And so
there was one point he did make a sound that sounded like Suki.
Oh, really?
Or maybe Suki was running through the house. But every time Suki runs, she goes.
They were harmonizing.
And so,
and at this point,
Suki.
We also have Mr. Krieg kind of taking some points back because he kind of starts kicking a little bit of butt.
Yeah, he does.
Trying to
shoot Sam right in the face.
He does. Kind of turns the tide of the fight a little bit on his side for a little while.
I love whenever Sam got shot in the face. There was a sound effect that was like, pew!
Yeah, it was very comedic.
Cute.
Yeah, it's very campy. I love camp.
I loved camp.
But at this point, of course, Mr. Krieg doesn't double tap. Because, like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
He doesn't double tap.
Well, yeah. He does go back and he shoots him in the...
like in the hand, right? Or something?
In the
head?
Chest.
But it's not like double tapping the head.
That's true. It wasn't twice in the head. And we see every time he gets shot too, it's like pumpkin innards just kind of splatter
everywhere.
Yeah, like as if you were smashing a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then
Mr. Krieg tries to call 911 with his fucked up hands, which kind of hurts, and that's whenever they put him on hold, and he's like, fucking hold.
I was like, can 911 do that?
I don't know. I probably
911, can you please hold? Like, no, motherfucker, if I'm calling this number, I can't hold.
I feel like maybe back in the day it did, but at this point, I don't even think it goes through until someone is able to talk to you.
Until you can answer. I see. I don't call 911 a lot.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And so
hopefully that stays that way.
That's whenever we find out that fucking Sam is still alive.
Because we see his little hand.
His little hand is like alive and coming back to him.
And it stabbed him in the leg.
Oh, it stabbed Mr. Krieg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool.
And that's whenever, I think he's even like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I loved that hand too.
The old man is fucked.
Whenever, what was it, in The Faculty? What was it? Fingers running around there?
Yeah, there was the fingers.
Yeah. That was cheesy. This hand looked good.
It was good, yeah.
All of the effects in this film were phenomenal.
And this was 2007. The Faculty was like 98, I think. Almost a whole 10 years beforehand.
That's true.
But I feel you, yeah.
I was like, I've still seen better practical effects
yeah.
from like The Exorcist. And that's 20, 30 years before. So.
And that's whenever they have, he puts his little mask back on, Sam does, just like Michael.
And
whenever Michael gets empowered whenever he puts his mask on. Yeah.
Back. His hands come back to him.
He regenerates and everything.
Reconnects. His little pumpkin innards are like.
Yeah.
Loved it. And he's so cute.
And that's whenever he breaks the old man's hand, I think.
Fucking snaps his arm.
Snaps it.
Right in half. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, this man gonna die.
And then he tries to stab him with the lollipop, just like we got a call back earlier. Or maybe that would have been after this. Probably it was after. It would have been after this.
It would have been after, yeah.
And then, but
happened before in our timeline.
Yeah, but it ends up hitting a chocolate bar.
Because he had tried to get that same chocolate bar that he had discarded earlier because he didn't like the way it tasted. He was trying to get that alcohol bottle that he was drinking from to break it to stab Sam, and that's why Sam even broke his hand and arm in the first place. But apparently, during all that scuffle, the candy bar landed right on Mr. Krieg's chest.
Yeah, and it spared him.
Yep. And then Sam basically just was like, "Oh, he just wanted candy."
Yeah.
He just wanted candy, because then he was like, "Okay, well, bye."
That's all you had to do.
Like, what is Sammy? candy.
Literally, just give him some candy. Trick or treat. Give me something good to eat. Mm-hmm.
That's all he wanted.
And that's when we find out from the pictures burning in the fireplace that he was the fucking bus driver. WTF
bus
moment.
Driver.
Yeah.
And Sam's just here trying to spread the spirit of Halloween.
Because if you're like Caitlin, you would have picked it up beforehand. But if you're like me, you would have been at this point rooting for the old man.
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh no, this is a shitty ass bus driver who was going to kill these kids. Yeah. Never mind.
And then after that, we see someone knocking again on Mr. Krieg's door, but now Mr. Krieg answers and he's handing out
Bandaged
candy.
up by giving out the candy.
Yeah, and it's like peppermints and stuff. So, and not even the like nice kinds that melt in your mouth. Yeah, you know those like fluffy ones.
Yeah,
I love those.
Those are amazing.
Those are so good.
Melt in your mouth almost. And that's whenever he's giving out the candy, like he better.
And this is when I was like, Sam's just really trying to get people to spend Halloween correctly. No, well, I guess it does say trick or treat, Sam, and those kids did trick people, but Sam's just trying to get people to not blow out their jack-o'-lanterns too early and to give out candy like you're supposed to.
Sam is the patron saint of Halloween.
He is.
And that's whenever we cut to, that's whenever the girls are coming back after the whole werewolf scene and they almost hit the girl.
Yep, Rhonda steps off the curb.
So it's cycling from the beginning of the movie. And that's whenever Rhonda ends up going back home, but not home because
we see Sam standing next to that tree, and you see Rhonda walk behind the tree but not come back out. And I believe the car as well maybe didn't go back in on the other side of the tree. I wasn't sure if the car went through or not. But I'm wondering if that tree was kind of the portal.
Yeah, it might be.
And so they're all disappearing, and then we see Sam watching Emma.
And so it circles back to like where we were at the beginning of the film.
And you see Mr. Creed just kind of like, because you see Sam like kind of run off in that direction.
Yeah.
And
he's just like,
he's like, they're gonna die. Mr. Krieg's just watching, but lo and behold, Sam didn't walk away for no reason. Sam realized, I'm leaving you for
someone else, because the dead kids who were from the bus crash end up coming to visit Mr. Krieg.
And they say trick
at
or
the
treat.
end, and they end up trick or treating with Mr. Krieg, and that's how we end up closing out.
And it was trick or treat. Good. Such a good ending.
Yeah.
And I love the way they look. The school bus massacre kids, the way that they look on the porch and stuff. Yeah. Just so creepy.
Yeah.
Like muddied and spoiled. I don't know if that's
the
not the right word.
And all that.
But
the costume and all that.
The costume designer, her name was Trish.
I saw it on here, I believe.
Trish Keating.
Trish Keating.
But she's done a phenomenal job. And I wonder what else she's done.
What else? Oh, I could tell you what else Miss Trish Keating has done. She has also done The Sixth Day, The Thing. She did
The Thing
from 1982, The Uninvited, Human Target, V for Vendetta. She's done Love Happens, a lot of things actually. La La Land.
Yay! Yeah. Good luck, Chuck.
Just a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, lots of films, but she did a fantastic job in this film, and she deserves all the accolades because it was bang up job. Really good. Loved it. But yeah, so that was the classic 2007 Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat.
And now you know what Sam and that little half-bitten pumpkin jack-o'-lantern lollipop is that's on the back of some people's cars now that Spirit's Halloween sells those things like candy.
Yeah.
It's Halloween.
Mr. Sammy Sam.
He's so precious. Aw. Even his scary face is precious. But also, if I was seeing that in real life,
I'd freak out.
I would freak out. Him
I would
crawling
be very
on the
scared.
ceiling.
He's supernatural, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Chucky.
Exactly.
As much as you think, like, I can take Chucky, like, you can't.
No.
Chucky's supernatural. He can keep coming back and back and back and back. He'll find a way.
Chucky, I mean, when they're small like that, they can get under things and you can't see them. And then they can pull my feet up.
Literally.
Pull my feet up onto the couch right now.
We'll end up just like Mr. Krieg.
Yep, our Achilles heel split. House of Wax.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too.
I always think of.
I like that movie. Paris Hilton.
Did I send you that thing?
Wow.
That TikTok about that guy saying how they stole Paris Hilton's sunglasses while she was on the House of Wax?
I think I watched it from me. Yeah. No. I watched it.
Good.
You might have sent it to me. You might have not have. I watched it. Yes. I don't think you sent it to me though, Caitlin, but I watched it on TikTok. Funny. Yeah. Ready for booze. I'm going to give it a 5.
Yeah.
A 5.
Good. That's where I am too.
From Trick or Treat.
It's just an all-around enjoyable film.
I don't even have to talk or debate about it. It's just why? Because it's good.
It's good. It's just so fun to watch.
It's very digestible and it's not long at all.
84 minutes.
It's fun. It tells a good story. They all connect. They do
a phenomenal job of wrapping it up like in one little bow.
The characters are all well. It's not like
it's not overly cheesy. The deaths are good,
and it's
practical effects are solid.
I feel like for people who like don't necessarily like scary movies, this is a good scary movie for you.
Oh yeah,
because it's not like
cute.
Super scary. Yeah, it's cute.
So cute.
Yeah, it's cute, and it's a lot more like character oriented. Like you're following these people, and you kind of get invested in all of them for the short amount of time that you are with them.
Exactly. Like you feel like you know really quite a bit, but they don't tell you much about them.
It's great writing. Yeah. That's what it is that it's great writing.
Awesome movie. If you've not seen Trick or Treat, like
fuck yourself. Get fucking lost.
It does say on my Amazon, because so we're recording this on the 25th. It says that there's 7 more days of it being that it's leaving that AMC Plus on Amazon in 7 days. So I think because of the month of October and everything, there's additional films on Halloween. So this is coming out. You still got a few days before actual Halloween comes out. Yeah. So please do yourself a favor. If you've not seen this, go watch it. See if on Amazon you have access to it, or if you can just find it somewhere to watch it. But yeah, it's an all around solid. That was a weird sound. Sorry.
I liked it.
There. I like it. Solid film. So if you've watched this film and you love it as much as we do, let us know. Let us know your thoughts on it and how you feel about it. Because if you hate it, though, what's wrong with you? Sam's so cute.
Yeah.
He's really so cute.
Go
even his little
checked.
reptile
psych evaluation
eyeballs. How can you not love him? Aww.
Yeah, and it was just a really good movie. It's a good story.
I would watch that. Just a new comfort movie.
Yeah, I can watch it again. It's something that I feel like I'd watch it every year. That's like a staple for Halloween now. Yeah. Let's watch Trick or Treat.
Let's watch
Eat some popcorn and
just have
drink
a good
some cider.
Time. Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness. I was really wanting a hot cocoa or something today because I got my Glossier. They came out with their new collaboration with Swiss Miss. And so I've got my new Swiss Miss balm.com. And because I bought it with the little sweater, I also got the camping mug from them, and it was really cute. And I was like, I just want to drink hot cocoa. And watching that, and it looked so cold.
It's a perfect weather because it's been like
Ohio.
It's been raining and all cold too. Yeah. Here it's very dreary.
That perfect looks time for delicious. But yeah, so that's Trick or Treat. That was so fun, and it's rounding out our month of Halloween.
Yeah, which has been pretty fun.
Oktoberfest, and if we have one more little surprise coming for y'all on Halloween itself.
Sure do.
And so that'll be fun. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That's a Monday, so it'll be a little bit of a weird release time for us.
Drop.
But we had our live show this past weekend.
Yeah. Which was really fun for me and Caitlin to experience. It was our first live show. So.
I was sick.
Yeah. But she pulled through.
I did.
And thank you to everyone who came out and supported us. And we can't wait till we get to do even more live shows. It was kind of like a great little practice run for us too, because I mean it's all new. So now I definitely know like what to expect and how we can make better, even now that we know like monitors in front of us and like things like that, just little small things. So
things that we can make better. But we covered the original 1979 Amityville Horror, and so that was a lot of fun with our friends Debbie and Allison from Poltergals.
From the Poltergals.
And so it was a great time. yeah, we appreciate all the people who came out, and yeah, it meant a lot to us.
Yeah, so. It really did. Shout out. And so, that's going to cover it for us. Once again, we are in the lovely Rogue Media Network studios. You can check out our podcast, or just like how we just mentioned, the Poltergals on their website, which is at roguemedianetwork.com.
That's right. They always take great care of us here. And if you don't listen there, you could also find us on a slew of podcasting platforms, the biggest two being
Apple Podcasts
and Spotify. But wherever you do listen, please don't forget to
rate, review, like, and subscribe.
That's right, because that's the only way we can get ahead in this world. And speaking of reviews, we mentioned it at the live show.
We did, but we're going to mention it now, too, I guess. We are. Well, before preface, we did make it. We've made it, you guys.
We've made it.
If they aren't talking about you, have
all
you really
publicity,
made it?
Bad publicity. All publicity is good publicity. That's the phrase I was trying to say.
Exactly. There's no such thing as bad publicity. So we got our first negative review.
Yeah,
but there's still 3 stars.
3 stars, which was so confusing.
Scathing.
At first, whenever I woke up, I think I sent it to y'all rather early in the morning, didn't I?
5 something in the morning.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And at first I was kind of like, ha ha ha. And then as the day went on, I got really upset.
Yeah.
My feelings got hurt because I was like, day. Oh my God.
That was a rough day overall, honestly, because I had a lot going on and I almost honestly quit my regular job that day.
Oh my God.
And then to like have that on top of it, I was like, oh,
this is a sign.
Yeah.
We just need to quit everything.
There was just a lot of bad going on.
Quit our podcast because we got 3 stars from a person who put their Apple ID as literally, and the podcast.
Yeah, I know. Did you have it?
The title is literally, yes. And so I read it on there. So you're going to hear this twice probably if we ever release the live show. But it says, I literally hope they literally learn literally new words literally ASAP. Literally have never heard literally the word literally so literally many times. And it's just like, okay, what? Why do people gotta be so mean?
And I feel like, honestly,
if I have an issue with something like a podcast, I just stop listening to it.
Well, and if that would have been anything like, I feel like, did they listen to they only listened to our first 1 or 2 or 3 episodes because we
don't say literally as much. Now, I did listen to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre episode.
And we said literally a lot.
A good amount. But if anything, we say more.
We
still say more.
Because that's easy to say.
Because that's how I fucking talk. So I can't help it. This is
so
a constant stream
sorry, literally, if you literally have a problem, I'm just kidding. I'm being very
But we're
salty.
Literally not going to change.
But really though,
literally
honestly,
ever.
We haven't been saying literally, so
I did make a conscious effort to avoid it today.
I'm
pretty sure I still said it.
You didn't. You didn't say it one time.
Did I?
I haven't said it. I know I haven't said it.
Good for us.
Because we don't say that.
I know I said the word like.
It has, Caitlin, I genuinely, it has been 20 episodes since we have said the word literally. This person has only listened to whatever episode they listened at the beginning of the season, and they obviously only did not care to go further, and that's fine. That's their prerogative. We're not going to... That's you, because we have...
I guess thanks for giving us 3 stars still and not completely wrecking our
honestly,
score.
I feel like that gave...
They must have liked it enough.
Well, I feel like that also... that gave very much they're still going to listen to hopefully see that we've learned new words. And hopefully we did. And if we haven't,
what
please...
What are some synonyms for literally? Let's look it up right now.
If you were that person...
a giant fuck you, but also thanks.
No, but just leave us more reviews. That's it. Leave us more reviews.
Leave us a nice one. No, okay.
I want more. Just leave us more constructive criticism. That's all.
I did whenever I texted them. I said, well, I guess we've made it. And so, but I guess we have. So we could say verbatim, word for word, line for line, letter for letter, to the letter. Exactly. These are all synonyms for literally, completely, plainly, really, actually, directly, precisely.
We'll have to work on that.
This was precisely like I remember it.
Yeah.
Anyways, but if you want to let us know how many times, if you've done a count of how many times we say the word literally, you can reach out to us on social media.
You can.
On our one social media platform of Instagram, and that is at
Boobaes Podcast, and that is BOOBAES podcast, because we're your boobaes, not your boobabes.
That's right. And happy Halloween, you guys.
Happy Halloween.
That's okay. Yay.
And until next time,
bye,
bays.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.